Welcome back, everyone. Craig here. So I guess I'm doing another solo episode. I just wanted to make a video about this because I see this come up so often, and I sometimes have a hard time articulating it concisely, like a Twitter or whatever. But maybe I thought maybe I'd try a video. So there's been I see lots of debate about sort of the whole infernalism versus um, universalism. Universalism being the idea that everyone may ultimately be saved. Infernalism, I think, just being the idea that no, we know there are people who are in hell, and and that it's necessary that there be people in hell. And then sort of a side set of fighting I see constantly between Protestants and other Catholics is about the security of salvation and all that. And so this thing came up on Twitter, and it kind of like it's sort of an intersection of all three of those things. And the point was made, and this is a guy's a former Catholic, um, fair, former Protestant, recent Catholic convert, and he says, if you don't know, or if you don't think you can lose your salvation, you have a very low opinion of God. I don't know that that follows. But this is the more important part. If God has given us free will, He's not going to drag us into heaven when, through our actions, we've shown Him that we don't want to be there. And that's the common argument I see for infernalism and why there must be souls in hell and why there could very well be a lot of souls in hell is this idea of free will and that God loves us so much that He has to honor free will. I understand that, excuse me, from just an intellectual level, but I really don't. I don't know that that necessarily follows, and here's why. None of us ever gets a say in our own creation. Like we're just thrown into this life with original sin, mind you. So we're hamstrung from the beginning. Again, entirely outside our control or choice, and we're thrown into this carnival ride of life that we're supposed to get through, and if we do it wrong we could spend eternity in hell, and somehow that's the way God set it up, and it has to be that way, otherwise God couldn't be who God is, um, that being a loving and just God. And I'm just like, I just don't find that very compelling. It would make excuse me, still dealing with this sickness, but it would make more sense to me if everyone before they were created was kind of in with adequate knowledge and intelligence was given the choice and say, here's the deal. If you want to, we could create you into humanity. You're going to have this thing called free will, and with free will you'll have the ability to choose God, to choose to live a good and virtuous life that will not earn, but put you in a position to enjoy heaven for all eternity. However, you may misuse it. You may misuse that free will in part because of original sin or whatever, and you will end up in hell forever for all eternity. It'll be a nonstop suffering. Those are the rules of the game. And if people knew that, especially knew that without the impacts of original sin and could make that choice, I think that's one thing. I think that at least arguably would be fair because people are choosing whether to participate in this or not. But that's not what happens. We don't get that choice. We're just thrown into this, and then this is the rules we're supposed to live by. I think if you gave people that scenario, I think think a not insignificant number of people would choose, I don't want to play that game. If that means I don't become a person, or it means I live my life, but there's no eternal consequences, good or bad. But we're not given that option. We're not given that choice. No human is. And there is not a human that has been born other than Jesus and Mary, and I guess Adam and Eve, who didn't have what we say is the impact of original sin on. Like, from the very beginning, we're thrown into this situation that we have no say over by rules that we get no say one way or another, whether we want to play by those rules or not. And we're doing it in a diminished or disabled fashion because of original sin. So that's not to say that Universalism is correct or Infernalism is incorrect, but that whole line of argument, relying on free will and all that, I don't think is all that persuasive. And I think the people that say they believe it already, it just reinforces what they already believe. But it's not really a compelling argument. I don't think it is. Maybe other people disagree with me, and feel free to comment otherwise. But because I see that, and the more I thought about it, like, no, that I don't think that actually does make sense. That's not a compelling argument, and wanted to share that with you guys. Appreciate you guys tolerating the coughing and all that, but that's all I can do at this point in time until I'm fully recovered. So thanks everyone for listening, and until next time, everyone, have a good one.